Welcome, We Have More friends and family. It's such a pleasure to have you guys here once again today. My name is Veronica, and I'm so excited for you guys to be accompanying me here on this Tuesday night. We Have More is just a space where we come together and we discover that we were made of more, by more, and for more. And we followed these past 2 weeks being inside of a series that I'm super excited about, because all of us at one point in our lives have had this question: what am I made for? What am I here for, right? So the series is called Made, and the first week focused on God as our maker, right? And we discovered a truth that He says that He had made us according to His image and for His purposes, right? And then the second series, we started discovering the things that make us, right? Focusing on those heartbreaks or those triumphs that shape us into the person that God has purposed us to be. Even though some things might be bitter or other things might be sweet, all things work for the good of those who love the Lord. So we discover that when we look through the lens of God's purpose, no matter what suffering, what pain, what loss we go through, God is in the middle. We are sculpted in the palm of His hand, and He is always in control. So on Saturday, we started our smoothie challenge, right? And like always, we like to show the word of the Lord in a fun and creative way. And we focused on the things that made us. Well, it was self-made, or man-made, right? And we spoke a little bit about those things that we have control of. Like, we control our days, we control the things that affect us or define us or destroy us. And then today, I want to really dig into man-made, because I know that you guys, just like me, know that God places people in our lives that impact our lives, right? These experiences become the recipes on which we live by. And I thought it would be really cool, as I spoke about this amazing woman that we find in the Bible, that I can show you a recipe that I love. And of course, it has peanut butter, because anything that has peanut butter is good. And we can find that story in the book of Acts. If you guys want to go ahead and look that up, Acts 9:39, right? And I'm just going to read this little verse. It says, Peter went with them, and when he arrived, he was taken upstairs to the room. All the widows stood around him, crying and showing him the robes and other clothing that Dorcas had made while she was still with them. From widow to women. And that's the subject that I decided to talk about today. A widow is a person that's molded, that's marked and made by loss, tragedy. She's made by distress, vulnerability, right? And loneliness. And in these times in the Bible, widows were particularly rejected, marginalized, and just left to a side, pushed to a side, right? They even wore clothes that identified them as widows. Now imagine this: you going through the biggest pain of your life, the biggest unexpected situation, and having to wear something that reminds you each day of that tragedy and of that loss. That's horrible. Thank God. Thank God that is not allowed for our times right now. So we find this woman, right, and the situation where Peter comes in is all these widows are crying, and they're showing Peter the clothes that Dorcas made for them. And this is so awesome, and I can relate on so many levels, because my grandmother was a seamstress. And I still remember the glow in the women's eyes when she would made a handmade outfit for them, and they would try it on, and it would be made to perfection just for that specific woman. And I remember this feeling that I got when I would look at my grandmother, going through all this hard work, crafting this amazing piece, right? Tailored specifically for this woman. And I go back to the situation of the widows, and I find myself having this amazing passion and love for Dorcas. Tabitha was a seamstress full of compassion, of grace, of empathy, of love and drive. And she decided on her own, without anybody paying her, without no other gain for herself, to sew these tunics for these widows and take away the mark that had made them widows. She reminded them that even though their situation had made them into widows, with this tunic, they were remembered of their true identity. Was it powerful women, right? And I love this. It takes one person to shake things up. So I can just imagine how rough it was for them. Just like this ice here. Pretty rough, pretty lonely, pretty plain, if you might say. You would not catch me wearing ice ever, right? And I look at Dorcas and I see her just putting all these ingredients together and sewing and knitting all these pieces together. I see a sweet compassion like banana, right? Into the mix. I see the wisdom and the empathy like peanut butter, which is smoothing, right? Like Linda. I have to make a pause. I have my very own peanut butter spoon given to me by somebody who's made and marked my life as well. I love you, Linda P. We would take 2 spoons of this peanut butter. Mary, I promise, I'll make you another recipe that doesn't have peanuts. And we would take a cup and look at my cup. Just read that message. You're a beautiful human. Yes, I am. 1 cup of milk. And this is almond milk. Unsweetened. You know me. And I like this recipe because I call this recipe my own. It's almost like I could call it a Veronica smoothie. And I think about Dorcas, and as she crafted these tunics for each individual woman, I think about how they were impacted as they wore them. No longer being made widows, but resorting to thinking about their true identity, which was being powerful women. Imagine how powerful they were, that the cries and the pleas of this woman actually created such compassion in Peter that he had to come over and pray for Dorcas. And she was raised back to life. So, just like these widows, don't lose sight of who you are. Because these ingredients that God has created for a perfect recipe in your life, these things that are shaping you, these people that are surrounding you, are making you into the best mixture there can be. It looks so good. It looks so delicious. Let's pour it out. Delicious, guys. That's all I have for you guys tonight. The things that make you and the people that have influenced your life are the blessings that God has purposefully placed around you for you to be the woman that He called you to be. Don't let anyone define you by your circumstances or put you inside of a mold, but allow God to speak to your identity and know that you are a woman of more, a woman for this time, made of more, by more, and to achieve more. Have a great night. God bless you guys.